one away from Doran. But I think Doran's kind of okay to last pick in this situation. There's still Cassante available if they go Jace. If they go Cassante, you have a range of options. I think picking mid makes the most sense here for T1. Unless you're like in a race to secure a certain top laner. And after considering the options, it'll be that Akali. Faker had a phenomenal game on this not too long ago.
Yep. Good choice. I mean, the only real issue I would say is the Nautilus, but can sometimes be rough to actually get your depth charge off if the Akali's playing it well. And maybe sometimes you can throw it in, the Akali's just too fast, doesn't matter. It really depends on the situation. There's the Mel. So that's going to be picked up with the Nautilus.
And it's going to be that Jace, so I expect the Cassante here for Doran. Yorick on, Sion gone. Unless you want to go a little bit wild, and the answer is no. I will say, though, Cassante into this composition feels pretty insane. There's not a lot of sustained damage. That being said, Olaf also makes a lot of sense here. There's a lot of CC, which you're just going to ignore. They don't have the sustained damage to cut through you. I really like bruises with Seraphine. If you think of the death ball of this composition, 3 top laners who will be effectively bruisers.
Guys, we do have T1 versus KT ROLSTER game number 2. Let's hop onto the Rift. Alrighty. Game number 2 here in our telecom war. T1 a dominant win in game 1.
We've already seen that trio link up. The Nautilus, the Annie, the Lee Sin. Really, so much threat from those 3 with the lockdown and then the Lee Sin land and the Sonic Wave. KT have a lot of setup for these skill shot-based high damage champions. But there is one thing that I feel is more important than anything for KT. It's that Owner and Doran don't get fed. I mean, Fake is pretty bad too, but more importantly, I think if Owner or Doran get fed, they just run away with this game completely. So I'll have to be a bit concerned about that. Perfect kind of just wailing on Doran with his hammer.
Yeah.
Level 1, definitely a point where the Olaf is threatening. And he's got the Doran's helm. You know, this is one of Doran's new line of items that he's brought out. And he's styling it himself. Olaf is a helmet-wearing champion, after all. But I think also does good in this lane because the Olaf, who has a lot of built-in sustain, does kind of just get a lot of value for those extra resistances.
Yeah. Juicy Perfect land that accelerated shock blast. Doran says something's a little bit iffy. He knows the timing, and Faker actually put down a ward on where Cuz was starting, which was the Raptors. So it's actually very smart from Doran. We've seen some players just kind of ignore the potential gank timings, especially of a champion like Lee Sin. And they're not going to have it happen this time around. You remember Willer actually playing the Lee Sin against them for Kium DRX in game number 2, where Kium got the win. And he was basically the reason, because he was able to gank every single lane and get value. And they're going to try to attempt to not allow Cuz to do that.
Effort has gone for the Aftershock for a good amount of power. When he goes in, be a bit tankier. But on the heal and not the ignite, so a bit less kill pressure. I think kind of warranted though, especially when aiming goes TP. Be in a bit of a tough spot with only the ignite if someone's caught out in a bad position, not having that barrier available.
Perfect hits level 4, and honestly, he's doing a good job. I mean, these undertows aren't really sticking.
It also feels so bad when you miss.
Yeah.
It's just miles away from him.
You can see that Doran's desperately trying to push this wave in, but he's not really able to. Perfect spin holding it here. There's the accelerated shock blast. This is the exact setup I was talking about. Doran has to flash away, but Perfect on the chase. And there it is, the hammer to the back as Perfect picks up the solo.
Beautifully played, and he's patient with this flash, waiting for the shield to fade off. Now Owner's in trouble.
He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to flash away. The follow-up flash from both of them. The mid 2v2, very strong here for KT. Owner knows he's dead. And he will go down to Cuz.
So a lot of my concerns for KT... Okay, he's fine. A lot of my concerns for KT were that Doran and Ona get fed, get ahead. Both of them have been all of their summoners and just been killed. So it's a great start for KT in terms of making sure this Olaf and Zinzao are as weak as possible. Yeah, Perfect dodges the undertow, lands a shock blast. And you see Doran shields, and then Perfect waits for it to time out, and then auto E to finish off. Just had enough mana for it. Here, Cuz finds Ona, immediately commits, knows he has the Ana you can move first, and BDD flashes to commit the stun. Nothing Ona can do. Just tries to dash in on BDD. Damage on him a little bit more meaningful than damage on Cuz, since Cuz can just sustain off the camps. But either way, he knew he was dead.
Yeah. And now we got effort in mid.
Shuriken down.
And there's the Shuriken down. The hook is good through the minion wave. The issue is that it's a Kali, and they don't really have any follow-up damage when he goes on the Shroud.
I think just getting a good trade. If they could just TP'd and they chunk him out, it's pretty positive for KT. Putting some more pressure on Faker, especially since BDD doesn't have Flash. Faker was coming up on level 6. Making sure BDD's in as good a position as possible. I think effort you saw from his movement, he knew they weren't killing the Akali because of the Shroud, so plays it safe there. Haven't seen too much action from the bot lane. Aiming just able to farm from a distance, trying to get some poke down. But until that Nautilus is able to engage, not the easiest lane to have too much pressure in.
Yeah, they're just... Aiming is just farming here. And Mel is definitely one of those champs that can just sit back and...
I think if I remember correctly, Aiming was the first player to play Mel bot in the LCK.
That sounds right.
It was a while ago, shortly after release. And he got really fed, and then they didn't win because he ran out of damage.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was into an Olaf as well.
That's very strange.
It was one of the earlier games on Mel. Maybe it wasn't quite the first, but I remember it being one of the big prominent ones.
We got a setup here on the Dragon. And, I mean, Aiming's done some good damage to Pays. There's the rebuttal on Akaria, too. I mean, Aiming really standing his ground, and Pays and Akaria, they're not level 6 yet. So they're just like, well, we're taking a bunch of damage. We can't really challenge the Drake.
And to be honest, even if they were level 6, there's a little bit of concern of firing those ults off freely into Aiming. Level 6 now hit by Cuz with that Dragon's Rage available. Has to be something you're concerned about. Aiming also gets his level 6. And you saw how much damage he did to Carrier there. You do that damage with the ult to back it up, and things get pretty scary.
Have we seen an Olaf really pop off and, you know, get ahead and do, you know, as Atlas would say, what it says on the tin, right? Like what you're picking the Olaf for?
Recently or ever?
In this year, even. Because I feel like we've had so many of these, like, wonky picks in the top lane that just kind of fall flat. Here's an arrow straight into BDD. Is going to dodge it. So that feels pretty good.
I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Just feels like a lot of times, you know, Olaf especially is the one where it's like you get behind and then a lot of times he runs in and then he runs out. And that is his job. Create space because you're behind and you don't actually deal damage. And you're not all that tanky either. From behind. That's what I'm talking about. As Effort and Cuz sticking together.
So I did find the game I was talking about. I'm going to hold that thought as we see Effort.
Shroud is down. Effort does not have 6.
We'll get away. But yeah, so the game was, it was last year's LCK Cup, and it was D+ against HLE. It was when Zayas kept playing Olaf, and Aiming went 6-2 and 4 but lost. And I remember they just kind of ran out of damage. It was when Showmaker played Kled mid as well. But that is one of my kind of concerns in this game too, is KT just running out of sustained damage into the composition of T1. So I'm hoping for Aiming's sake that doesn't end up coming true, but that was an example of the time before where that did happen. I guess they still have these squishier targets in terms of the Ashe Seraphine to target that, to focus down. Right now though, big lane leads for KT in the solo lanes. BDD getting some help from Effort, able to come out ahead over Faker, although Faker is just weathering the storm on this pick. Perfect though, sizably ahead of Doran. Doran who only has his helmet and the plated steel caps. I feel like he should get a shoe line, if I'm being honest. It's a logical
In League of
move.
Legends, or?
It's a logical... Well, yeah, his items are in League of Legends.
Yeah.
It's a logical move.
Like a whole line of items? That
No,
arrow?
just like he should get some shoes. Doran's
boots?
Doran's boots, yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Because I feel like... I mean, he's got kind of a monopoly on the starter items, and they're bought every game. But so are boots. It's a smart place to move into in terms of business.
I actually agree. It's much better than one of those expensive, like, big items because they only get bought every so often.
I'm getting a message from production. Doran's potion. I feel like depends what the potion does. One downside of, I mean, potions are pretty cheap.
Nobody really cares about the potions either.
Potions are pretty cheap as well. You don't make, because that's the thing as well with
You
Doran's
can buy
items.
multiple of them.
People buy Doran's items every game, but they aren't that expensive.
Yeah.
Boots are a bit more premium. You can definitely charge a bit more for them. They should speak to Boris about this.
Yeah. Okay, Doran's just going to pull the trigger here. He says, I'm going to go in and die. And this is kind of what you have to do as Olaf. I mean, you don't have to run in and die. But, like, you're just bleeding. And there's no hope. So either you go in and try to make something happen, or you just fall even further behind. So
it did allow him to recall
lose.
very quickly.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Is hanging around. I mean, they have a ward on him, and they're going to figure that out now. Owner is here. Could turn into something. And, I mean, we'll see what happens in this game because Perfect had a big lead on Yorick in game one. That was Yorick. It was different compositions, yes. But it doesn't mean that T1 will automatically lose this game, so I am curious to see. This time, third time's the charm. The arrow is going to hit, and BDD... Oh! He's actually able to get away just barely. The kick, though, gets Faker! No, cuz! Oh, he just barely got away. And then he didn't.
You can kick a target any direction, 360 degrees, depending on your positioning. You have flash as well in order to adjust that. There was kind of like a 30-degree cone where you did not want to kick Faker, and cuz put him exactly there. This was that situation. I won't call it a play, it was a situation earlier, but yeah. If you think of like the danger area of where to kick him, it was a pretty small angle.
Yeah.
And he kicked him in that exact direction.
It's as Wolf would say, he pulled out the protractor and got the perfect angle on it. Aiming in a bit of trouble here. The Mel doesn't do all so great against the Akali, although some damage does come in there. Iscaria does get some pressure from Cuz.
Some low health bars on T1. I think KT, although the aiming has to recall, Faker's low.
The Xinjiao is split.
Ooh.
No,
Yeah,
be a flash away.
This
Good trade
definitely
from
feels
effort.
like a dragon that KT should be getting with the fact that 2 members of T1 were low.
Yeah.
And being low HP against the Lee Sin, one Sonic Wave and you are just dead.
And it's Mountain Soul. So, Hextech in a Mountain. I guess Game 3 will be Chemtech, just like the first series, if we get a Game 3. Because this is the same order. Yeah, the Olaf, much like Olaf's before him, not finding much success here.
Yeah.
And this is why in the LCK, our top laners play Cassante and Sion and Ornn and all sorts of stuff. That hook probably should have landed. And now Faker says, you know what? Maybe I got an angle here to go in on aiming, as now he's just going to try to ult away. But there, the depth charge does ring true. And he said, well, I was going to die to 4 people anyway, so might as well try to go down with flying colors. And Faker, I suppose, does do that. Turret's down in top lane. That's probably going to be nice for Doran. But just more gold into Perfect at this point.
You know, I think part of the issue with the Olaf right now into lanes like Jace is his sustain is really his shield, which, although it can block damage and over the course of multiple uses has good value, it's not the same as old Olaf who had actual healing. And I think as a result, if you get chunked out low, you're just kind of in a really bad spot. And there's not as good a ways as before as to get yourself back up to a healthy amount of HP. So right now, Doran really struggling, really far behind in the matchup. And I don't think he's going to get Reprieve any sooner, especially because Perfect has Ghost Blade and Swifties. You're just never reaching him. He can just kite you out, get away from you, get a distance. And as a result, so hard to chase him down with the undertow.
Yeah, and this is very different from game one where it was kind of only Perfect who got fed and T1 got some nice map plays where they got all the other lanes ahead and stuff.
Jace is also, even though we've seen teams struggle with effectively piloting the Jace when it comes to setup around fights, Jace is a lot easier just to integrate into your team fight than a Yorick, I feel.
Yeah.
We saw like the Yorick Maiden dying quite quickly, whereas Jace, you just kind of stand there and Shock Blast and that's your job done.
Yeah. Also, Faker was playing Anivia, who can just kind of like push waves, clear waves very quickly, from range, has a lot of safety. Now he's playing Akali.
Oh, Ashe ult.
This one looks good. Nope, just barely going to be dodged. BDD gets out of there.
Yeah, BDD had used the Molten Shield at the exact time. I think he might have seen the arrow coming because he had wards on the way. So perhaps used it to dodge. By the way, doesn't get hit. Feeling pretty good.
I mean, that at the moment feels like the one way that T1 are finding angles, as that's going to be the ult forced. As now Faker going in, he is challenging the Giga Fed Jace. Can he do it? There's a Shock Blast. Faker says,
the
no,
flash!
the flash is good. Perfect gets out. As now we got an encore here. It's Cuz might be in a rough spot. The depth charge is in on the pace. It's going to be a lot of damage denied. As in goes Cuz, another pull here onto Owner, who's quite tanky in his own right, and KT can't finish him off. As now Owner says, now's my chance! I will get revenge! Gets the shutdown! And maybe the Olaf is real after all. No, he's not. He's still not real.
743 gold is a lot, though.
Yes. Owner says, I love Gromps, and dies for one.
What is a little bit worrying, though, is Thorin got that massive shutdown, and he's still 2,300 gold behind.
Yeah.
That's a little concerning. I will say, I was kind of worried when they put Perfect up against the Akali. I'm like, that is the one person who has real kill pressure. And it nearly happened, so felt a little bit dangerous. We obviously got that phenomenal outplay from Perfect, but he still ends up going down after a bit of an overstep. It's still KT with a massive lead. They're still in a very commanding position, but I'm still a little bit concerned if they're making potential mistakes like this, giving over a lot of shutdown gold.
So this is a play from Perfect. Just wait for the timing on the flash. He's just waiting for the right, like, it's insane reaction time. I mean, he knows the trading patterns and knows that, okay, Faker's going to use it at around this time, but like, man, it's basically frame perfect.
Because Faker doesn't have any items and wasn't level 11, he was like, I need a little bit more damage for the R2's guaranteed kill. And because he went for that little bit of damage, then Perfect knew what was coming next. I think maybe if he'd ulted straight out of the Shroud.
Here we go again. This time Perfect doesn't have much wiggle room.
He's so dead.
He's right up against the wall. And, I mean, the damage doesn't quite come out yet. He dodges one of the strikes from Faker. The Shuriken not going to hit as well. In goes Perfect. Flash over the wall. He just runs away. As now we got Keria trying to come up here on the Seraphine and lock him down. I mean, maybe. With the extension, flash over the wall, and the slow comes through, and finally, they are going to take him down, and Faker does get the kill. Not sure if worth, but they got it. They got the job done.
That did not feel convincing. I thought he was just 100% dead when Faker got onto him, but in the end, he's able to survive for a very long time. Does eventually go down, but in return, KT pick up a dragon. They're getting pressure in both of these lanes, mid and bot. It's not looking too good for T1 at the moment. And now Cuz looking for this Ashe, but he'll just take mid tower instead. Pays back away at the right time.
Faker just got his Gunblade.
8,000 gold. Yeah, he's been pretty slow on that. Cyclo Sword for Jace is so threatening. So the thing with this is, I think Faker should have connected the Shuriken while the Jace was stunned. But he waits quite a while. And then it ends up getting blocked from a mini, maybe on cooldown. Potentially. Hard to know without seeing his CDs. We obviously didn't see what was happening before this play.
And then Keria is like, do I have to do everything myself?
Yeah, goes for the ult on the effort because he figures the Jace is just definitely dead at this point. Trying to get another kill.
Oh, another arrow.
Another arrow.
And this is just, I mean, It's like the firing range. We're just down here hitting targets if we're pays. In goes Owner. And even Perfect's like, no, I got to respect that with Owner and carry it together.
Perfect is doing a scary amount of damage. So it has to be played around. 3 minutes 30 until that next Mountain Dragon. And T1, that's a real big turning point in the game for them. Can they secure it? Right now, they are super far behind in terms of gold.
Just going to throw everything into Doran. He is going to TP. We see that Jace and Mel, Perfect and aiming, were making their way down, so...
Doran is just not getting much of a chance to play this game. And part of the problem as well, on top of this, is Faker's pretty far down in terms of farm. Not just in terms of compared to his lane opponent, but in terms of compared to like the 80 carries. Like he has 150 CS to aimings, 200. If you actually look at the levels...
This is going for this, actually. The kick onto the turret. There's the Sonic Wave landed. Faker says, okay, I'll throw out my ult now. Oh, there's another one. He's just going to dash over to the Seraphine, though. And he will survive. BDD with Flash wanted it, but he's not quite going to get there.
Echo's pretty clean there on the Lee Sin. But the point I was making is Faker's level 13. Aiming is also level 13. The 80 carries are pretty inflated in this game because they've been farming quite well. And I think it's going to make it trickier for Faker to find kill pressure onto aiming, who already has that rocket belt. Faker not finished his second item yet. I say 80 carries, I mean bot laners. I know
awesome
Mel
dudes.
is not an 80 carry.
That's what 80 stands for. Awesome dude.
Yeah.
When you don't do attack damage. That is the lore. And Doran, I mean, his job in this game has just been, I catch the waves. Although, maybe. This arrow looks off. Yeah, it looked a little bit ahead. But to be honest, I mean, he's like, he knows what he's got to do. As in goes Cuz. Not sure about that. Very aggressively. Has some backup from the team. Like, looking for it, but the knockup. Gonna stop Cuz from getting the ward hop kick.
Cuz is just playing so aggressively and feels kind of untouchable right now. You see Owner able to save his mid laner, but the pressure is definitely in favor of KT here. Put some pressure on this tower, and one of the things with the composition with an Akali Olaf as a solo laners and an Ashe as AD carry, I mean, Ashe isn't terrible for it, but they're just not good at defending from sieges. Akali and Olaf really have to step up the wave to deal with it, and Ashe, other than her volley, which doesn't do that much.
Oh, this is a nice potential catch on aiming. They wait for the back from Cuz, who's really the scary one. As there is the flash, the extension will be flashed away from by aiming. As Effort says, goodbye, witness me. And really the question is, who do they give the kill to? Probably Faker?
Faker or Pays are both good.
Are they trying to stagger his back for the dragon? I don't know if it's going to work, though, because they're also staggered on their way to get to the dragon.
Yeah, but Effort's the one who sets up the vision, so if he's late, it's pretty impactful. They're going to be able to get there first, so it's pretty smart, honestly, to slow that down. Also give him the kill over to Pays. Faker has TP, so he can keep pushing for the time being. Now they can kind of move in and get vision control the area, but you can see there's a bit of concern about the Baron. They don't have vision there, and that's going to give time to Effort to get back on the map and look to contest here.
Yeah, sorry. A lot of the gold difference is actually in turrets, and T1 are going to get one in the top lane.
Wow, they're not even opting to contest this dragon.
That is crazy.
That feels a bit wild. I thought with the Nautilus respawn timer they'd have a chance. Now, Mountain Soul is very strong, and it's very consistent. Because when you start a fight, they're always going to have the Mountain Soul, almost always have it available. It's just extra health you have to punch through. It's obviously scales well with HP, so on tanky champs it's good, but it's also good in squishy champs, making them more durable. But it doesn't scale, I would say, as well as like a Hextech Soul, because obviously at some point you just get enough damage to cut through the shield. But it's still very good, it's still very strong. And Hextech Soul, like not scaling as well as Hextech Soul, is a pretty high bar, so it's crazy to me that T1 just don't contest it, but I guess they feel at a pretty weak point in the game, and they opt to just give it over. I don't think Mountain Soul makes the game unwinnable. I mean,
Yeah.
T1 wouldn't have given over if they thought that was the case. But it does make the game a lot harder from this point on. Especially situations like this, where Faker's trying to find a 1v1 against Perfect.
Well, he's just going to go in for it anyway. The Shroud is there. There's the R1. He's looking for it. There's the cooldown. The flash again. As Perfect gets out of the way.
And look at his HP. Mountain Soul did make the difference there. Actually kept him alive. So does make that 1v1 more difficult. And we just saw how that can change certain plays on its head. Imagine if Perfect had died. Yeah, Perfect survives, he TP's in. If Fake had gotten the kill, it could be the reversal, where Faker TP's in. And now Perfect has a massive shield as well. This is going to be difficult to approach.
I don't know exactly how they're going to do this. I mean, they're going to find effort on the right side, but that just means the turn comes through. There's the reflect. Is Carrier going to get owned there? They do take down the support, as that will be a kill for the Olaf. In goes Doran. Look at his sustain. They can't take him out. Flashes on in. Eventually he goes down, but man, got a lot of value out of that Olaf in the team fight. And Owner even gets away alive.
And I think we're seeing what the fear of T1's composition really, what it could have been.
Yeah.
If they were closer in terms of gold. This Olaf in Xin Zhao, so hard to deal with for KT with limited sustained damage. And this is KT with a Mountain Soul, with the 3,500 gold advantage even after that fight. And still, it seemed difficult. We'll get a replay again of...
It's a 5v4 as well, right?
Yeah. So he knocks away Faker here. Faker gets in range to ult, though. And it's once again a flash from the R2.
진짜 까비. 필인데. 야, 제이트 필이야.
He's like, oh, so close. Is basically what he said.
He was locked in that 1v1. You could see it on his face. And then going for this fight here, a lot of things go right for KT. They managed to rebut the Encore, that obviously has a good amount of value. Cuz kicks the Ashe in, and they just delete Pays. But the Olaf, they just don't quite have the damage to finish him off. And he, considering this is a very behind Olaf, it's worrisome for what he could have been.
They're just doing Baron again. Hawkshot spotted this.
This feels risky. It feels like they want to force the TP. Oh my god, that damage.
My God.
That Jace does things. It feels like they want to force a TP from Faker, but they don't have anyone on the Baron right now apart from Cuz, and his damage is half since he's tanking it. It is going down gradually with some poke from aiming.
Oh, he's like dead. I mean, he's not a champion right now, and that's going to prompt the TP in. Effort super low himself. But now Doran in the front line, that's going to be the charm on a 2 as he is going on in. They take out BDD, and the Olaf again! Massive value in the back line! And look at this triple kill for Doran! And it just allows the rest of T1 to clean up. This Perfect is alone. In goes Faker with the R2. He's going to get over the wall.
Oh, Perfect is strong here. I think they have to back away.
Faker has red buff. You know he's going to want to flip it. He wants it so badly. He wants to go in.
I don't think he can. He doesn't have ult.
Yeah, at this point, I think patience from Perfect means that he should be able to win this one, as Faker has to flash the wall, dodges the shock blast, and he will survive.
Considering the advantages KT had going into that fight and in this game, it is crazy how Doran is getting so much value. This is why you can pick the Olaf here, even though he had a terrible lane, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
The value in this team fight, the healing from the Seraphine, and then the healing he gets in the fight, it's just kind of insane. Able to sustain for so long.
Yeah, and you were talking about the comp as well. Like, they're trying so hard to focus the Olaf that the Akali and Xin Zhao do so much because they're not being focused. So you can only choose one target, really. Faker's really slippery on the Akali. They're trying to burst down the Olaf, but it's really difficult. And so all of that extra damage from the other two bruisers / assassins with the Akali, it's just huge. As third time is the charm, says KT ROLSTER. We're doing it again. We're just going to start the Baron. And what are you going to do about it? I mean, Doran might have to TP into this one. He is backing away, has that secondary TP available. There it is. Picks up Death's Dance. And KT, I mean,
he's going to be a menace.
They've got a lot of damage already onto this Baron. I don't think T1 can really get in here. The knock up, the kick away from that one, as we got a fight already brewing. And yes, they're going to get the Baron, but what about the fight? As everybody on the side of KT is just trying to run away. Cuz goes down. Owner is going to try to tank it up. Gets the Nagam into 2. And it is just a massacre for the rest of KT. Only BDD gets away. And the Elder is about to spawn.
T1 have truly outscaled KT at this point, and KT, who are looking to get the series win here to bolster their position in the standings, are in a really tough spot now. They just don't have the damage to cut through them, and this is kind of feeling reminiscent of that Mel game I was talking about from aiming before, where they just did not have the damage to cut through the Olaf. Doran is so strong right now.
It's also a little bit reminiscent of the time that KT was massively ahead and they couldn't end the game. Obviously, the comp's wildly different.
You bringing that up again?
Yes, I am. KT, they just can't, even with big wins against T1, they just can't seem to figure it out.
They just can't deal with the Olaf. Look at him go. Look at the amount of healing he ends up getting here from both the Seraphine and his passive. It's just kind of disgusting.
Yeah. Faker goes in, does a ton of damage, goes golden, and Doran's unkillable. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they do. Elder's up here for 2 minutes now. And, I mean, T1 already have so much kill threat in those crazy fights. Keep in mind that KT, that was the 3rd time they started Baron and said, okay, come at us, T1. Like, you will be forced to fight us on Baron. And T1 are like, oh, okay, I guess so. Sure. Keeps on going pretty well for T1 every time. 3rd time was not the charm.
Oh, that shock blast damage. That hurts. But other than that, they're doing pretty okay.
Yeah.
Just don't eat shock blasts is basically the game plan. Oh, Doran could be in. Or is he in?
He's just gonna go. He's just gonna go. And look at this. I mean, he has Elder buff. Perfect's just trying to run away. Gets a shield, and in comes Faker. Finishes him off. And Doran's like, "What are you doing? I have Elder buff, my guy." And that's going to be a double kill now for Faker, who immediately responds, gets over to Doran, helps out. And I mean, 2 kills when he already had the Elder buff. They have a minute left of it. Of course, they don't have Baron, so it can be difficult to push if the wave gets cleared. So I don't know if they actually end, but they're definitely going to at least get this inhibitor in the bottom lane.
I mean, they might just build a brute force. 5v3 with Elder.
Maybe they just die. But
okay, the wave's gone.
The wave, yeah, that's the thing. Like,
the wave just gets one shot.
If you can just kill the champion.
By the way, look at the top left of the screen. Did you see it for a second?
The negative Baron.
The negative 5,000 Red Bull Baron power play is that's insane work. And yeah, perfect. That's what you get for the early game, is what Doran says.
Yeah.
That's what you get for bullying me out in lane. There's so much damage with the Elder to back it up. Really one of the all-time Red Bull Baron power play. Minus 5,000 is crazy work. And T1, their Elder will time out, so that aspect of their strength will pass. But I think they've just outscaled. Doran has the Death Stance. You know, he just picked up the Death Stance. He has a more, too. Yeah. He's so hard. He's so tanky. Who's killing him? So quickly, I need an answer. KT, you're asking.
It was perfect.
KT,
it's not perfect anymore. It's certainly not aiming. And you just can't, like, you can't burst him. I just don't think it's a thing.
You cannot burst him. You can't CC him. And he just has so much sustain. He gets a kill, and he's just going to heal up so much.
This is crazy. We have so many times. I was just mentioning it, like, in terms of LCK picks, where top laners will just go for a tank because it'll get through the lane. It won't fall this far behind. Olaf will fall this far behind, but then you see the value in the late game. You're like, wow, I guess this is the reason.
Yeah.
But the laning phase was just such a disaster that it was like, was this the right choice?
I think the answer now is yes. Also, the fact that they gave up the Mountain Soul, not many teams would be comfortable making this decision.
Yeah.
But they gave up the Mountain Soul in order to allow them just a bit more time in a better situation. And it worked. It legitimately worked.
Yeah.
It was risky, but the Mountain Soul doesn't drastically change how these fights are playing out. Because even though it makes them a bit bulkier, there is sustained damage on T1, which is enough just to cut through it eventually.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing with Souls, is that a lot of them, there's a lot that we give a lot of credence to, a lot of strength to, but how they shape the game depending on the team compositions is really important. And ultimately, T1 were able to make that decision in the moment that has benefited them in the long term.
A lot of times, I mean, okay, this is going to be a root here on a Cuz. He might be in some trouble. He is Lee Sin, though, so he gets over the wall.
Even if the Mountain Soul did make Faker's 1v1 more difficult.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like, oh, they got the soul, the game is over, basically. But I feel like a lot of the time, that's partially because the team is very far ahead. They got the soul anyway, so...
Doran has a red pot as well, by the way. So, some of the decisions that T1 have made. Pays went GA, third item, because he knew he's the person who's vulnerable to being bursted.
I mean, he got one-tapped by Perfect in the, I think it was the first Baron fight.
Doran has a red pot running, which is going to be available for this Baron that's now just spawning. He's level 19 as well. They're just starting up the Baron.
T1's turn, yeah.
They have a lot of sustain. They can really do this pretty comfortably, and they're trying to bait in KT to challenge them.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Look at Doran.
Oh, Cuz he's not going to get the angle on the kick, and now that Mikhails has to come out.
Well, Doran's running a perfect, but the Blast Cone keeps him safe.
The Baron reset, by the way, so they're going to have to chip away at that health bar again. And they say, okay, let's...
Oh, no! Play! Carrier! Unbelievable angle! He catches 4 in the team fight, and the game just ends! It's just over! Aiming is dead. They all group up for the Seraphine, and Aiming is not able to reflect that one. That is going to do it. TP to bot lane. They're diving Perfect as well, as GA is available, and they do not care. There's the ace, and this game will go into the hands of T1 once again against KT ROLSTER.
Ends up being a 2-0. T1 further solidifying their position above KT in the standings. And Carrier with an insane ult there. I think a lot of people's eyes were drawn to Doran on this Olaf, were drawn to the big plays he was making.